From the Ritchie's Backyard Barbecue Party Room, it's time for this week's Ritchie's Inside the Paint, the weekly Pike County coaches and players interview show focusing on all the Pike County schools. Piketon, Waverly, Eastern, and Western schools are the focus each Wednesday here on 100.1 WXZQ-FM. Ritchie's In the Paint is presented by Rockwater Campground located at US 23 in Piketon. Call 740-289-4649. And brought to you in part by Brewster's Auction and Real Estate and Tim Dickerson for Sheriff. Tonight, we focus on the upcoming Waverly Tigers and Piketon Red Streaks matchup. It's the first time in 5.5 decades since the Tigers have visited their cross-county rivals. Friday night, the Red Streaks will welcome the Tigers to the oven for one of the season's hottest matchups. And now, your host for Ritchie's Inside the Paint, presented by Rockwater Campground, here are Madman Mike Davis and T-Fred Tim Frederick.
Good evening, everybody. How's it going out there, guys?
There you go. Let's hear some clapping.
And welcome, everybody, to Ritchie's Inside the Paint. We are coming to you live from Ritchie's Backyard Barbecue here in Piketon. We have got an excellent show lined up for you tonight as we discuss everything that is Pike County basketball. Tonight's Wednesday, January 3rd, and tonight's focus will be on your Western Indians. And we've got a huge crowd here. We've got Coach Doug Williams, got some players. Going to be a great night. So thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank Ritchie's for allowing us to put this show on for everybody, and Rockwater Campground, Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy, and Brewster's Real Estate and Auction Company. I am the Madman Mike Davis. Sitting next to me is T. Fred and Rockin' Raj, who's going to be out in the crowd here later. So when Roger comes out, make sure to give some shout outs. He's going to talk to the crowd. So get loud, get live. We want to hear it. But before we get into that, we need to talk about some things. That's everything basketball in the last 2 weeks. It's been a couple weeks since we've been live. We did have the game between Piketon and Waverly on Friday. We had a Piketon played last night. Western hasn't played since last Friday. They played Federal Hockey. But like I said, before we get to that, again, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We're live here on Main Street TV. We are on the Main Street or Total Media Radio YouTube, Total Media Radio app, yourtotalmedia.com, and of course on your radio dial Q100 FM 100.1 WXZQ. So again, like I said, it's been a couple weeks since we've been on the air, fellas, and had quite a bit of action. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody as well. Now, obviously we talked about a little bit about the Piketon and Waverly game. All three of us got to call that, Raj and I from the Piketon side, T. Fred from the Waverly side. So we're going to hit that in a little bit. But first, we've got Piketon's game. Raj, we'll talk about that. Last night, Piketon defeated the Peoples Indians 61-52. Now, if you missed that game, Main Street TV does have it on their Facebook page right now and over on the Total Media Radio YouTube channel. And it has the one if you want to see, the hard-fought battle, or if you want to hear me and Rockin' Rod singing, you can always tune in to check that out, because that is something to listen to and a sight to see. So first, just kind of talking about that game, Rod, we were there. We got to witness it firsthand. Everybody likes to talk about offense, points. And last night with that game really didn't disappoint, guys. We had three players in double-digit points. Davis had 23, McGuire had 17, and Henry had 11, which is always nice when you have three people in double digits.
Exactly.
But I think for that game is the real story is the defense and the turnovers. And from the start of the season for the Streaks to now, their turnovers have really kind of increased, has decreased drastically. In that very first game against the Western Indians, that was a double overtime game. That was probably one of the best games I've ever got to call. We were on the edge of our seat, and shout out to all those Western players because they did an excellent job. For the Streaks anyway, the turnovers was the problem, and each game they've been able to kind of fix that. And
well, like we talked about last night, Piketon is improving each game.
Right.
Each week they are improving, and last night they was great on offense and defense.
Well, and I mean, speaking of defense, it looks like from the box score that we have, they held the Indians to 1 point in that second quarter, and then afterwards, Peoples actually outscored Piketon in the third and fourth, but it wasn't enough to get the victory. But that 1 point, that was big. So their defense, really came out to play last night, Raj. And then, like we talked about the turnovers, they had 12 last night. I think that first game with Western, it was in the 30s. It was way up there. Way up there. I think that was really a big test for Piketon going up against the Indians, the Western Indians that pressed like crazy. And then, we had some of those shots that we want to talk about with some of the players, Raj, that we talked about in the car.
Yeah.
Because that, like I said, that game was just unbelievable. I loved every minute of it. And, as a Red Streak fan, that wasn't a good night for us, but as an Indians fan, it was amazing. So being from Pike County, we love that matchup. So, I mean, again, like I said, excellent defense and good ball handling. So, Roger, give me your thoughts on that game.
Well, like I said, Piketon's improving each week as they take to court. And last night was another show of it. They had, I think, 12 turnovers.
12 is what we have, and I think that's what the official Stat King Jim came up with.
And the week before that, they had like 16 or 18.
Something like that, yeah.
So they're improving each week, and I think as the year progresses, Piketon's going to get better and better.
Well, let's hope so. And, again, we get into some SVC action coming up. T-Fred, you had a game last night too.
Yeah, Trey and I did the Eastern Notre Dame game down at Notre Dame, and it was a hard-fought battle. Eastern came out on the short end, lost by 2 points.
Where your favorite songs are mandatory. Your number one hit music station.
Chillicothe's
Somebody hit a button. It wasn't me this time. Go ahead, T-Fred.
That's all right. Of course, Hot Rod and Big D doing a great job there, keeping everybody calm and collected, and they were back on the air. I mean, hey, it happens, but it was a great game down there, great atmosphere. Notre Dame's solid. They're at 4-1, and Eastern has dropped to 4-6. They lost 4 in a row, and I know that's not sitting well with Coach Leist. They do have, they've lost their big man for who knows how long, maybe for the season. I don't know, but it is what it is, and it's like he said, no excuses. You just got to go on and revamp your system a little bit because they really don't have a big man in the middle now to help things out, scoring wise, rebounding wise, and everything. But they played a really good game. Started out really fast. They were up 10 or 12, and late second quarter, early third quarter, Notre Dame went on a little run. They started pressing and running, and they got ahead of Eastern. Eastern was able to tie it one time, had a chance at the end to tie it or win it. And it just didn't go. And, it was a tough loss for Eastern. But, Easton's doing a good job, and those boys are battling, and all they can do is just keep on keeping on.
Well, and, I've only got to call 2 Eastern games so far. So, I hate to hear that they've lost their big man. We will have Coach Leist here next week. We're going to feature the Eastern Eagles, so maybe we can get a little info on that. Maybe not. I don't know. Western, their last game was against Federal Hockey, like I said. It looks like it was a tough loss, 68-62. And I got Cam James here with 21 points. Lido had 14. Haggy had 10. And Sylvan had 9. And going over kind of the Western schedule and seeing their, I know they had some losses here as of late, but it looks like there's been a lot of close games.
Mm-hmm.
And as a broadcaster, those are the games that I like to call.
Oh yeah.
If you're on the losing end of it, of course it sucks, but it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
You've got that
and,
right.
And your heart's racing. So I can only imagine what it's like down there for Coach Williams, for these players, and just sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. 1 point losses, 1 point victories, here and there. It just it's good, and it's a good game.
Well, they're definitely battle tested, and Coach. I know you age rather quickly on those close games, and those nail biters. I'm with you. There's more excitement. I love seeing close games and good basketball all the time. So, I know coaches would rather kind of sit back and say, "Man, we're looking pretty good. We're doing all right," and they don't have to worry about a whole lot of stuff. But when it's tight, it's a different story. But they lost to the Wheelersburg Pirates 64-60, and Berg. I've scouted Berg. They are the real deal. Lattimore and company down there. I know we've got Berg coming to Waverly next Tuesday night, and they're a good ball club and a really good ball club. And I can't wait to ask Doug about that game. But they've lost some close ones, but they're battle tested, and that's what he said when I interviewed him last time I covered a game.
Mm-hmm.
He said, our record may not be, they're 3-6, but that's irrelevant. Because they're better than that, of course. But they're playing some really good ball teams, and as far as the future goes for a tournament run, they're going to be battle tested and ready to go, and it's going to help them out.
Absolutely, and I'm going to point out too, the only 2 Western games I've got to cover this year were the ones at the SVC SOC Tip-Off Classic, but I got to cover the tournament games last year, and those 2 tournament games, the one I think against Waterford and the one at Piketon, I think it was Fairland. I mean, those were just excellent games, and I can you just see the athleticism out of this Western Indians team, and just they're going to be battle tested, like you said, and I'm looking for them to make a good run in the tournaments.
Yeah,
and it looks like
they should, yeah.
And it looks like according to their schedule, they're going to get into conference play this week, T. Fred. Yeah, so with the SOC 2, that should start this week, and I think they've got Eastern coming up. And then they're going to go over to the Chad Dodson Classic. Piketon actually went there last year. That was a really good setup for if somebody's going to cover that one. But really,
I'm covering the Western game at Fairfield. Yeah,
and that is actually they treat us right, T. Fred. They'll be free food.
Oh,
I know you like that.
Yeah, T. Fred loves free food.
Hey, if it's free, it's me, baby.
Yeah.
So we're gonna real quick before we jump over to break and get to what we're really here to talk about, and that's the Western Indians. I do want to go over the Friday game, Piketon and Waverly. This coach's show for everybody. We've talked about it, Raj. We called it from the Piketon side. You can go back on Main Street TV and check it out as well. T. Fred, what are your thoughts? We didn't get to hear from you.
Well, Piketon played a really good game. The 1-3-1 gave Waverly some fits early. Waverly did not attack the zone very well in that first half. They scored 7 points in the half. They scored 2 in the second quarter, and they're down by 18 at the half. Kudos to Piketon because Coach Miller had them extending out on the zone, and the length of McGuire and company, played well. We just couldn't get things going, and then they got in a little bit of foul trouble, your boy especially.
He's known to do that from time to time.
Well, they got 2 or 3 guys in foul trouble, so they kind of switched up and went a little bit of man and a little of that staggered 2-3. But honestly, Waverly handled that really well compared to the 1-3-1. And we started hitting some shots, and we started pressuring a little bit and got back into the game. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when it was 38-36, I mean, my stomach was turning.
we both was, yeah.
Yeah. I was getting a little upset, because I'm a fan first. I got to root for my son, but yeah, we were on the edge of our seat. I was getting worried, but I'm glad that the Red Streaks were able to come up with a victory.
Well,
against those Waverly Tigers.
Yeah, kudos because we had 2 or 3 chances to either tie the game, cut into the lead, or take the lead. We didn't do it, so credit the Piketon defense, but also I believe Piketon was 8 out of 9 from the free throw line down the stretch, and their last 8 points come from the foul line.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that's why they won the ball game. So, you got to tip your hat. If guys go to the foul line and hit free throws, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, right here, 8 for 9. And then look, I mean, you can see we were, Piketon, and Waverly. So,
Yep.
yeah, definitely a tale of two halves, as we talked about in football. T. Fred for
It was a
Piketon.
good crowd. Good crowd. It was nice to play, Piketon, and of course that's a big win for them. And of course we got to bounce back after that loss. And
Now, when does Waverly play again?
we got Friday night. We go to the west side, West Portsmouth. Guess what? We're going to see another 1-3-1, and we've been working on it all week. But we'll see how it goes. And West is a very fine team. They beat Jackson early in the year, and Jackson's a really good basketball team. So, well, they got their hands full, and they'll just have to be ready to play come Friday night.
Well, fellas, I think this is a good time to take a break. Going to patronize our fine sponsors, and remember, if you like what you see, you want to jump on that sponsor train, get in touch with one of us or yourtotalmedia.com. But after the break, the real reason we're here, we're going to have Coach Doug Williams of the Western Indians, and we're going to have some players come up. Rockin' Raj is going to be in the crowd, so be ready. So you're listening to Ritchie's Inside the Paint on 100.1 WXCQ, Main Street TV, Total Media. Your home for Pike.
Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy is a family-owned independent retail pharmacy located at 104 Thornton Drive in Piketon, accepting all major insurance, offering prescription medication and over-the-counter products, immunizations, free countywide delivery, text messaging when your prescriptions are ready. A refill link is available on our website, brewstersrx.com, or call 740-648-3020. Check out our excellent selection of must-have items. Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy, 104 Thornton Drive, Piketon.
Please elect Tim Dickerson, Pike County Sheriff in 2024. Tim Dickerson is a lifelong resident of Pike County and has over 28 years of law enforcement experience. Tim Dickerson brings the knowledge and experience that will reduce crime, establish great community relations, and eliminate wasteful spending. Pike County residents can expect more in 24. Elect Tim Dickerson, Pike County Sheriff. Paid for by the candidate, Tim Dickerson.
It's now. Q100 is your home for Piketon Red Streaks basketball all season long. Join the voices of the Piketon Red Streaks, the Madman Mike Davis for all the play-by-play, along with Rockin' Raj with all the color, as Coach Kyle Miller guides the Streaks in search of SBC conference scoring. Piketon Red Streaks basketball is brought to you by Ohio Valley Bank, Waverly Tires, Southern Ohio Medical Center, Brewster's Real Estate and Auction, Boyer Funeral Home, Ricer Equipment, and by Quick Lube and Tire. Piketon Red Streaks basketball on Q100 is also brought to you by Valley View Health Centers, Tim Dickerson, Rent to Own, Hometown Chevy, Elizabeth's Custom Tees, Best Buy Motors, Chase Brown Law, and Rockwater Campground on US 23 in Piketon. Find all the action of Piketon Red Streaks basketball on your home of the Red Streaks. WXCQ-FM hits now, Q100.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home or even a piece of property, then look no further than your hometown real estate and auction experts at Brewster Real Estate and Auction, located in the heart of Waverly at 200 East Emmett Avenue. Phone 740-947-7577 or check them out online at brewsterauction.com. Brewster Real Estate and Auction, a proud sponsor of Pike County High School sports.
Welcome back, all you Western Indian fans out there, and got a huge crowd. We love it. Let's hear you guys. Come on, you come over the air. So joining us tonight is head coach Doug Williams. Doug, welcome to Ritchie's Inside the Paint. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for the invite.
So just tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been the head coach at Western?
This is my 5th season at Western and my 21st season overall of coaching. My 12th season as a head boys basketball coach in Ohio. So,
where did you coach at before you came over here?
My first coaching job as an assistant was at Purcell Marion in downtown Cincinnati when I was still when I was in my 5th year at Miami. Because I played at Miami, I couldn't do my student teaching while I was playing, and so my 5th year that I was there and I was doing my student teaching, they kind of hooked me up with Purcell. And I worked as a varsity assistant that first year. My first teaching and head coaching job was at Western Brown High School in Brown County, which is where the rest of my family currently still resides and lives and works. So, and then I went out of state for a little while. I worked in Pennsylvania for 4 years. And then I came back and I worked at Portsmouth West for a year. And then because of my ties at Western Brown, Georgetown invited me to be their boys coach. I worked there for 3 years, and then Western opened. And I don't think Brock Brewster believed that I was interested in the beginning. But as I've told several people, I mean, Western's a dream job for me because of my family ties.
Yeah.
I grew up wanting to be my grandfather. I didn't think I would be at the same school, but that's who I wanted to be growing up. And it's really cool for me to be able to do it at Western. So.
Now, who's your grandfather? I know those people do know, but who?
Hecky Thompson,
That's
coached
right.
there for 20 years. He passed in '83, I think, when I was 2. 300 wins, 68. They went to the state tournament. So, I mean, those are some of the seasons he's well known for.
I was at that state tournament game, and they were this close because if they beat Mansfield St. Peter's, they win it. They really do.
Yeah.
73-70, I believe, was the score, and they were right there the whole way. Chip Long and company, and I'm trying to think, Ray Jordan. I mean, there's some big names, but what I liked about Western that year is I don't know how some of these people might remember. They had the green jackets. And they all sat there, and it was their turn. You could see them walking into the locker room, and I think Bobby Thompson of Waverly was the chaperone because it was at St. John Arena. And I believe Bobby took them into the locker room for their game, and I thought that was really cool. And I was 7 years old, but I sat there on the edge of my seat the whole game, and boy, that was a shame they got beat. But boy, what a fun ride that was! And the biggest game I can remember that season, I think they were down in either the district or regionals. They were down by like 17 to somebody. I want to say Fairland. I don't know if I got that right or not, but they were down big and they came back and won. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, one of the greatest games I ever saw. And
2 years ago, we went to the Elite Eight, and everybody remembers that. But what was special about that team 2 years ago was we had lots of ties to that 68 team. We had several grandsons of guys that played on the 68 team that were part of our Elite Eight team. And so that was really special for us to be able to share that as well. So
that's great stuff. And but hey, you've had a pretty good season. Let's kind of run down the season. Of course, that first one you guys did.
Oh man,
I heard about it. We were doing a game. I can't remember where I was at, but 84-83. I mean, man, that's putting some points on the board in double overtime, right?
Yeah.
So your thoughts, just to kind of run through that Python game there.
Well, you guys like those kind of games. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like giving up 83 points.
Right.
I don't like going to double overtime. It felt cool afterwards, and it was great that everybody was a big fan of it. But, truly as a coach every day, I'm trying to find holes in what we do. And, the best thing about our team, especially that night, is that we just don't stop.
Right.
We were down almost 20 that game, if I remember right.
Yep.
And we fought back, and that's a positive. But for me as a coach, I look back and say, well, why in the heck are we down 20?
Right.
So as fans, you guys remember all that stuff. For us as coaches, we're always trying to find why we did that. And you brought it up. We started out the season 3-0. And honestly, as a coaching staff, if you would have told us that, we'd say sign us up for it right now. But the one thing that our kids have been asking for since I've been here, this being my 5th year, when we went to the Elite Eight a couple of years ago, those guys were so competitive. They were like, man, can we play Waverly? Can we find a game where we can just play Waverly? And the same year that Waverly went to the state, and I don't think we could have beat them. I don't know, but our guys wanted to do that, and so I've kept that in the back of my mind as a coach.
100.
I don't care about my win-loss record in the end. If it was up to me, we'd play in big games every night.
Yeah.
And so I think kids grow from that. I think we get better from that, and we've really scheduled up this year.
Yes, you have.
In our 6-game losing streak, I'm not sure that you could point at any of them and say, well, Western was really supposed to win that game.
No.
Were there some that we would like to have back? Sure. But, we've done that on purpose. And when you lose 6 in a row as a coach, you're like, man, that was dumb. but in the beginning, that's what we wanted. Our kids asked for it, and we gave them a schedule that they wanted to play. So.
Well, speaking of course, I did the White Oak double overtime win there. That was a wild finish, but boy, that was a battle-tested night too in White Oak, and you guys outlasted them and got the W. And
yeah, again, I mean, why are we giving up that many points? Why are we in double overtime? But it's like we said, when you play at White Oak, it's not a give me,
No.
and so. They had some kids that night that played well that we didn't expect them to play well. That's probably some of our fault, some of them playing good.
Right.
But again, after that was over, the one thing I told our staff was, our kids aren't going to quit playing. No matter what, I think we're going to keep battling. So, and I think that's still true. I told Litter Media, they did an interview with me today because they're calling our Eastern game Friday, and I told them, I said, every team is a puzzle. Sometimes as a coach, I figure out the puzzle early, and sometimes as a coach, it takes me all year. And so, we're still trying to figure things out. We had some things happen where, a kid played with us all off season and then didn't end up playing. And we're trying to put kids into places they've never played before. And so, and we're putting young guys in varsity minutes that they've never done before. So, yeah, we're trying to figure things out, and nobody else is going to lay down for you while that happens.
That's right.
They're not going to just hand you a win. So
right. But looking at just the last three quality opponents: Waverly, 54-49; Wheelersburg, 64-60; Federal Hockey and Good Ball Club, 68-62. You're in all three of those games, and I know it stinks to come out with the L on that, but you got to be pleased with your performances for the most part against three quality opponents like that and getting ready to move on.
Pleased isn't in my vocabulary a whole lot.
Well, that's true too. Coaches are never pleased. We know that.
The Waverly game, they scored 20 in the first quarter, and that cost us. We beat them the rest of the game.
Yep, sure did.
So you point to that first quarter and you say, okay, that's what cost us. Otherwise, we played with them or outplayed them. The Wheelersburg game, we were up 1, I think, with 1:15 left. And Drew Haggy fouls out, and we had a couple chances at the end of the game to make plays. We were in a play to perfection. Alex Sullivan gets a wide open 3 from the corner, and it rattles in and out. If that goes in, we're up 1 with 30 seconds left. So all of those things are things that happen when you have a really good team. Those things happen, and those things go unnoticed. Because at the end of the year, people are just like, well, their win-loss record looks good. Well, what happened was those plays went in the years that you have a good record.
Yep.
And so, those are the things that are happening for us right now with a young team is we haven't played 4 quarters yet. And when we learn to do that, when we learn to practice hard every day, take care of the little things and play 4 quarters, we'll be fine. We just haven't learned that yet.
Well,
and Fed Hawks the same way. I mean, Fed Hawks they have 2 really good guards.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
And we didn't do a great job on them the whole game. We did a good job on one of them for a half, and then we did a bad job on the other one. So, we have to be able to put all 4 quarters together, and we're still hoping to do that.
Well, I was just going to mention you're starting league play Friday night with Eastern. What do you think of this 3-tiered SOC 1, 2, and 3? How do you feel about that, and how do you feel about being where you're at in that league?
I mean, we love it. I mean, we don't dislike anybody in the bottom. So anything that I say is definitely not to put down anybody that's in the bottom division, but we were traveling all the time. And I know I know we asked for that way back when they got in the SOC. But, a lot of the things that I heard was, man, you guys are still going to South Gallia and Sims Valley. And I said, well, listen, we were going to have to anyway.
Right.
And so the way that we look at it is we traded going to East and Green and Ironton St. Joe, and we gained Eastern and Northwest and Oak Hill. And so for us, those are close games that I think every year will push us. Mm-hmm. They're not give-me's. They're not games that we're going to be able to just coast through. And I think that's good for our kids. And I mean, listen, Eastern's a rivalry game. I mean, your name is Western and Eastern. And that's what I told Litter Media today. Anytime that happens, Western versus Eastern, North versus South, anytime you have directional, there's a rivalry.
Yep.
And the rivalry with Eastern and Western is old. I mean, it's old, and we hated that had gone away. And so for us, this is, I love what Ethan's doing. I love what he's trying to do with that program. As a former player in that program, I think he's doing a good job. And I'm just happy that we get to play those big games again with each other.
No, that's absolutely right. And you talked about you told me you have one senior this year.
We have one senior. Logan Lytle's our only senior, so we'll return. We had 14 kids at practice today. 13 of them will all return.
So I mean, just the future looks bright, Coach, and is from what I've seen. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it.
Well, again, I future sounds good. I like right now.
Don't get me wrong. I like, I want to see Western make a nice run in the tournament. I want to be able to call some of those games because that last year they were off the hook good. The Piketon Waverly.
You have that contract in front of you. I'll sign it. Can we contract for the run?
There you go.
Sounds like a plan, but I hope that they don't put all the tournament games on the same night.
Yeah, that makes it hard on us.
It messes up. Us we can only do so many games, but if they're all playing the same night, I mean, it hurts the other team. So I hope it changes, but who knows? Anything else, big boy?
No, I mean, you have any final thoughts, Coach, before we go to the crowd?
No, we appreciate you guys having us. We're excited about the things that are going on at Western, and we love celebrating our kids. So we appreciate you guys having us on.
Well, thank you very much, Coach, and again, appreciate you coming down.
All right.
That was Coach Doug Williams with the Western Indians, and looks like we got Rockin' Raj in the crowd here. Raj, if you want to jump in the crowd and get the people on the air while we get ready for our next break.
Okay, let's start with.
I know who you're looking for.
I'm gonna get him last.
Okay.
Hey, but this one.
Everybody turns away when the microphone.
Hey, buddy, what's your name?
Cutter Clay.
And you play ball?
Yep.
What grade you in?
I'm a junior.
And you play guard?
I'm a forward.
So how you look forward to the game coming up against Eastern?
It should be a good game. We're trying to get prepared for Friday, and we got another day to do it, and I think we'll be well prepared.
Okay, you got anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out Coach Williams. That's about it.
No girlfriend?
No girlfriend?
No, just Coach Williams.
Hey,
that's a
this
good
guy
one.
is dedicated.
Yes,
That's right. That's right.
How about you, buddy? What's your name?
I'm Levi Fight.
Ball player?
Yep.
Okay, what position you play?
Guard.
And what grade you in?
9th.
So how Friday night against Eastern, are you ready?
I think we're ready. I've been away for a week.
Oh.
I have faith in us. I think we'll come out with the W, and think we're prepared.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Coach Oppie and Doug Williams.
No girlfriend?
No girlfriend.
Dedicated, both of them.
Yeah. Priorities in line.
I guess I take the girlfriends away, don't I?
You must.
Okay, I'm going to get this guy, and I'm going to pick on him. What's your name, buddy?
Drew Haggy.
What grade you in?
I'm a junior.
Junior, and your position?
Point guard.
Point guard. Okay, the Madman and I have been talking about the double overtime against Piketon. You brought it in to overtime, that last final shot. Was your eyes open or closed?
They're probably closed.
Well, Mike and I, we was thinking they were closed. You just throwed it up, but it went in.
Yeah, I just prayed for the best.
That was a great game.
He got 36 that night.
So why I'm picking on you is I know your dad. So you got anybody you want to shout out to?
Coach Williams.
What is this? No girlfriend?
I got one right here.
She's sitting right next to him.
Shout out to Cameron Bradford.
All right.
What's your name, buddy?
Tyler Kearns.
You play ball?
Yes. Guard.
Are you ready for Friday night?
Oh, yeah.
You got anybody you want to shout out to?
All the coaches for getting us prepared, and we'll be ready.
Sounds great. Mike, you got anything?
No, let's. This is a good time to take a break. You're listening to and watching Ritchie's Inside the Paint live from Ritchie's Backyard Barbecue, presented by Rockwater Campground, Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy, and Brewster's Real Estate and Auction Company. We'll be back here in about 2 minutes on 100.1 WXCQ.
Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy is a family-owned independent retail pharmacy located at 104 Thornton Drive in Piketon, accepting all major insurance, offering prescription medication and over-the-counter products, immunizations, free countywide delivery, text messaging when your prescriptions are ready. A refill link is available on our website, brewstersrx.com, or call 740-648-3020. Check out our excellent selection of must-have items. Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy, 104 Thornton Drive, Piketon.
Please elect Tim Dickerson Pike County Sheriff in 2024. Tim Dickerson is a lifelong resident of Pike County and has over 28 years of law enforcement experience. Tim Dickerson brings the knowledge and experience that will reduce crime, establish great community relations, and eliminate wasteful spending. Pike County residents can expect more in 24. Elect Tim Dickerson, Pike County Sheriff. Paid for by the candidate, Tim Dickerson. If you're in the market to buy or sell a home or even a piece of property, then look no further than your hometown real estate and auction experts at Brewster Real Estate and Auction, located in the heart of Waverly at 200 East Emmett Avenue. Phone 740-947-7577 or check them out online at brewsterauction.com. Brewster Real Estate and Auction, a proud sponsor of Pike County High School sports.
The Western Indians can be found on your hometown radio station, 100.9 WXIZ. Catch select matchups of the 2024 boys basketball season as Coach Doug Williams guides the Tribe in their bid for the SOC2 title. Western Indians basketball is brought to you by Ohio Valley Bank, Waverly Tires, Southern Ohio Medical Center, Brewster's Real Estate and Auction, Boyer Funeral Home, Ricer Equipment, and by Quick Lube and Tire. Western Indians basketball is also brought to you by Valley View Health Center, Tim Dickerson, Rent to Own, Hometown Chevy, Elizabeth's Custom Tees, Best Buy Motors, Chase Brown Law, and Sunfish Outfitters. With special thanks to Rockwater Campground on US 23 in Piketon. Catch select matchups of Western Indians basketball on your hometown radio station, 100.9 WXIZ.
Ooh, welcome back. You are listening to Ritchie's Inside the Paint live from Ritchie's Backyard Barbecue here in Piketon. Tonight's featured Pike County sports team is the Western Indians, and we just had head coach Doug Williams, and now we have assistant coach of the year for the 2022-2023 season, Tyler Jemison. Tyler, welcome.
Hi there.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a graduate from North Adams High School. I graduated in 2009. Played for Coach Dave Young. Actually played for Coach Williams my freshman and sophomore year at Western Brown before transferring to North Adams. So I'm a former player of his. I had a pretty successful high school career as far as the team-wise. We went to the regional semifinals, which actually Piketon beat us. It was Evan Lake's sophomore year.
Yeah. Okay.
So went to the regional semis in 2009. And then, like I said, played for Coach Williams. And we, once I found out we had a coaching job available, some people contacted him, and I was already on the staff then as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I've been at Western now, helping with assistant. Started out with Coach Kyle Miller as well at Western.
Okay.
I was the junior high coach then, and then I've been there ever since. I think I took 1 year off. I think this is my 9th year as an assistant coach.
Well, you look like you just graduated high school. But so, assistant coach of the year, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
Just been blessed to be under some good head coaches with Coach Miller and Coach Williams. I really enjoy scouting and, watching other teams, knowing what they're going to do, seeing their plays, just kind of dissecting the game a little bit and getting our guys ready for it. Like I said, I've been blessed to be part of some pretty solid teams at Western. The 2016 team went to the regionals, the Elite Eight team in 22. Our record's been pretty solid every year, so it's just been good learning from not only my high school coaching, Coach Young, but our head coach now and Coach Miller at Piketon.
Yeah, Nathan Childers and I did the game with North Adams and Piketon over at High U, the combo. Boy, that was a heck of a battle. It really was. Great game. I'm trying to think of that kid. Was it Unger?
Greg Unger, yep.
Greg was the big stud, so to speak, for North Adams. But you had a great team, not just him. But, hey, things fell Piketon's way, and they got to move on. And then they played, I think it was Grandview, maybe.
Yeah,
I want to say Grandview. I don't know if that's right or not.
That's right.
But I remember the Bobcats. That was their nickname. I remember that. And if they make some free throws down the end, Piketon doesn't get to the state. But they could hit a free throw to save their life. And credit Piketon for a couple big buckets late, and that's how they got to go to the Final Four in 2009. But, yeah, I've known you. I didn't know you were at Western Brown. When I scouted for Coach Young when they made it to the state with the Copus, the guy that's coaching there now.
Nathan, yep.
What year was that?
96.
96 also. There was a big gap there. I didn't know it was that far apart. But, yeah, Coach Young, rest his soul, he was a great coach, great person. I knew him pretty well, and I worked his camp a few times, and I also went with his team to Moorhead State. And the Peoples fans didn't like that too well, but I said, hey, man, I'm coaching. They asked me to go, so I went. But, how do you like working for Coach Doug and how things were going now and progressing? You guys have had some good runs and some good teams and some good players. I mean, how do you like just basketball in general out there at Western Latham?
Oh, I mean, it's great. Our kids are great. Like kind of building off what he said, we just have guys that just don't quit. That's kind of instilled from our coaching staff. We expect a lot out of them, and they know that, and they play hard for us. I want to say it was his third year. We decided we were going to just guard full court, 94 feet, and the boys were just going to have to do that. And that was the first year that we went to the Elite Eight. And since then, we've kind of instilled defense into our guys, and they have taken it and ran with it. We're looking to build on that this season. We've given up quite a bit of points this year. Our defense hasn't been as solid as it has been in the past. But, continuing to work on that, I think just kind of building on what he said, we are taking the right steps in the right direction. I think that come tournament time, we're going to be playing our best basketball, and that's all any staff can ask for is hopefully, we have a great season. That's a given. Everybody wants that. But as long as you're playing your best basketball in March, you're doing something right, and coaches are usually going to be happy at that point. I mean, talking just last season, we had some games where we struggled midway through the year, and then toward the end of the year, our guys bought in. They knew that if we were going to win games, we were going to have to get stops defensively, and we played like heck against Fairfield and losing, at the last second there. But it is what it is, and that's the kind of kids that we want in our program that we try to build off of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I got to call that game. It was amazing. I hate that you lost. I was ready to keep going with the Indians. So, talking about this Friday, big rivalry, Eastern and Western. What are your thoughts on the game?
It's definitely a rivalry. I haven't been able to necessarily be a part of that as a player, so it's a little bit different for me. Western Eastern, like Coach said, it's a huge rivalry. It's a different type of rivalry for me, just because now I've coached at every level, junior high, high school, JV, varsity against them, and it's been a lot of fun to coach against them and see what type of rivalry that is, and what it's come to now. Coach Darren McLeod couldn't be here tonight, but I can't imagine the type of battles he had against Eastern, and that being the rivalry. He would tell us to eat our eagle eggs on Friday to make sure that we're ready. So I'm looking forward to it. I think both teams right now are struggling. I mean, we've lost 6 in a row. They've lost 4 in a row. So somebody's going to break that streak on Friday, and hopefully it's us. We're going to do our best to prepare for them. I think we're moving in the right direction as far as that goes. We just, our guys need to show up that night, get some stops, and see what that puts us at the end of the game. But the rivalry is going to be fun. It's going to be fun to play against those guys and coach against them.
Great. And you guys are in the same league now, right? SFC2. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
They changed it. It got me all confused.
Yeah, big league game, first league game. Luckily, like Coach Williams, we talked about against Wheelersburg, that game was important, but essentially it's a glorified scrimmage. I mean, you're just trying to go out there and play your best, and hopefully you win. But now we're getting into league play. These games really matter. We want to hoist the league championship at the end of the game, and it starts on Friday.
Sounds good. Any final thoughts, T. Fred?
Good luck to not only Western but Piketon Eastern, wherever it is. The season continues. We're approaching the 10-game mark basically for about everybody, and league play starts this week. And we just wish everybody stay healthy and keep playing hard and smart and have fun. And hopefully, the tournament run for everybody will be great.
That would be nice. All right, that's Assistant Coach of the Year, Coach Tyler Jemison.
Thank you.
Well, thank him for coming out and talking to us. We're going to go ahead and take one more break here and maybe get some players up here. You're listening to Ritchie's Inside the Paint live on 100.1 WXCQ and Main Street TV. Back in a couple.
Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy is a family-owned independent retail pharmacy located at 104 Thornton Drive in Piketon, accepting all major insurance, offering prescription medication and over-the-counter products, immunizations, free countywide delivery, text messaging when your prescriptions are ready. A refill link is available on our website, brewstersrx.com, or call 740-648-3020. Check out our excellent selection of must-have items. Brewster's Hometown Pharmacy, 104 Thornton Drive, Piketon.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home or even a piece of property, then look no further than your hometown real estate and auction experts at Brewster Real Estate and Auction, located in the heart of Waverly at 200 East Emmett Avenue. Phone 740-947-7577 or check them out online at brewsterauction.com. Brewster Real Estate and Auction, a proud sponsor of Pike County High School sports. Please elect Tim Dickerson, Pike County Sheriff in 2024. Tim Dickerson is a lifelong resident of Pike County and has over 28 years of law enforcement experience. Tim Dickerson brings the knowledge and experience that will reduce crime, establish great community relations, and eliminate wasteful spending. Pike County residents can expect more in 24. Elect Tim Dickerson, Pike County Sheriff. Paid for by the candidate, Tim Dickerson.
Your home for Waverly Tigers basketball is your hometown radio, 100.9 WXIZ Cash FM. Join T. Fred, Tim Frederick with the call, and Trey Edwards with all the color as Coach Kyle Bradley guides the Tigers through the SOC 3 in search of conference glory. Waverly Tigers basketball on your hometown country station, 100.9 WXIZ, is brought to you by Ohio Valley Bank, Waverly Tires, Southern Ohio Medical Center, Brewster's Real Estate and Auction, Chillicothe Trucks, Boyer Funeral Home, Ricer Equipment, and by Quick Lube and Tire. Waverly Tigers basketball is also brought to you in part by Valley View Health Centers, Tim Dickerson, Renza Owned, Hometown Chevy, Elizabeth Custom Tees, Best Buy Motors, Chase Brown Law, and special thanks to Rockwater Campground on US 23 in Piketon. Find all the action of Waverly Tigers basketball on your home of the Tigers, your hometown sports station, 100.9 WXIZ Cash FM.
Welcome back to Ritchie's Inside the Paint, and joining us now live is junior Drew Hagge. Drew, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know I told everybody you're a junior, but what position you play, things like that.
I play point guard. I try to guard the best player some nights. Most nights we put other players on the best players, but I try to help off ball.
Mm-hmm. And so I know Roger gave you a hard time in the crowd. You put up 36 points against us that first night against Piketon. And it was hard. It was a hard one for me to call because I like watching both you guys and the Red Streaks, obviously, and watching you and Declan kind of battle. That's always you guys have had some epic battles over the years. That you've been, because you're both juniors, you've been playing, kind of around the same league the whole time. So just being able to watch you guys out there was a dream for me. So, but yeah, unfortunately for us, but good for you. You guys got victory. So let's talk about that game. What do you think? 36 points.
Well, the first half was pretty rough for me. I think I went 0 for 18 the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second half came out and I hit a few shots. Then the fourth quarter, I think I scored 24 in the fourth quarter. Then the double overtime helped with the points too.
Yes, it did.
Well, that was a good game. So, I mean, thoughts on the season so far? I mean, you've heard what everybody's talked about. You know, some close games. We get to play Eastern on Friday. What do you think?
Well, I think we'll be prepared for Eastern. We need to get back to our defense principles. Just get up the line, guard people, just keep them in front and stop them from scoring 60-some points every night.
Well, I've seen your guys' defense. So I know you guys can do it because I mean, your defense to me is just it's a nice thing to watch. Sometimes people don't think about defense. You know, it's all about the points, but I like defense, and you guys sure can do it.
Yeah, we try to too. We work a lot on it in practice. Coach Jemison is our defense guy.
Assistant coach of the year.
Yep. He's always on us about it.
So what's your average point?
I think I'm averaging around 23 points right now.
It's really good.
Trying to get that 1,000?
Yeah, I'm going to try to.
I think you're going to do it. If you're getting 20 points a game, I've seen you play. I think no doubt. Probably you and Cam both.
Yeah, both of us should be able to get to it by our senior year.
Which is next year. It's hard to believe.
Yep.
Rod, you got anything else for him?
I just can't believe he's Bill Haggie's son, and he just pretty quiet.
Very quiet, but like he said, his dad talks for him. Right?
Talks for everybody, right?
Yeah, he never shuts up.
And I hate that he's not here because I wanted to give him a hard time in person.
Exactly.
I'm sure he's watching.
All right. Anything else for him, Rock and
Well,
Rod?
buddy, good luck against the Eagles, and tear it up.
I'll try. Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of the season. I'm actually, we just signed on to call a few of your guys' games, so we'll be coming over. So I really look forward to watching you guys play. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good one, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, that was Drew Haggie, junior guard for the Western Indians. And we got about 6 minutes to go here. Anybody else want to jump on? I'd like to get Logan Lytle. He's a senior. If he wants to come up, say a few words. He's not here. Okay, he had to go. So I think we'll probably just go ahead and wrap it up unless anybody else wants to jump in. I can't hear what they're saying, Raj.
I can't either. I can go through. You go ahead and interview him, and I'll go ahead and try to get some crowd after you interview him.
Who we got here? Right here. You're front and center. What's your name?
Cutter Clay.
Cutter Clay. So, Cutter, how old are you? What position do you play?
I'm a junior, and I play forward for Western.
And I'm looking at some of your stats here. So tell us your thoughts on the season so far.
We got off to a 3-0 start, and in the last few stretch, we haven't really been doing what we really practice on. We need to really get back to, who we are and the principles we go by. And I think Friday we'll get back to what we do.
So what do you think, about this rivalry, this cross-county rivalry? Are you ready for it?
Yeah, we always pride ourselves on rivalry games like Piketon, and Eastern's a big one, and we get to see them twice, and I think we'll be prepared for both times, especially for a rivalry like that.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad you guys get to see him twice now, and I really wish I could come over and check that one out, but I can't. But I'm hoping I can get at least one in with you and Eastern this year, maybe when they come over to Western, right? Because you're playing at Eastern Friday.
No, we're at home.
You're playing. Okay, so maybe when they come over to Eastern, I can jump over and check them out, check you guys out. Well, any shout-outs? I think you already did that once. You must like being on the microphone. That's twice now. But that's great. Any shout-outs again?
Shout out Coach Williams again.
Is your mom or dad listening?
Well, my mom's here.
Okay.
I don't know where she is, but shout out to my mom.
Of course, always got to shout out to the mamas. Always.
Always.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, you got anything else you want to say, Bob?
6 o'clock at the TP. Hope to see a big crowd there for a rivalry game, and hopefully Western comes out on top.
Yes, sir. Well, good luck to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Out in the crowd real quick. We got about 4
Okay,
minutes
Indians,
left.
let's hear you. Let's hear a crowd. Let's hear you. And what's your name?
Jody Rittenhouse. Well, I want to give a shout out to Cam. He couldn't make it tonight. He's one of the members of the team, but I want to shout out to the coaches, the staff, and to the players. They all give 100%.
Well, hopefully Cam is better for Friday, right?
My name is Becky Fight. Just all these boys that work hard every day and the coaching staff that makes them the players that they are.
Renee Davis. Just shout out to all the coaches and all the boys, and definitely my son Foster Davis, who plays on the team as well.
Wesley Davis.
Shout outs?
Just losing 6 games in a row for these boys. They're a little down on themselves, but I look for us to turn around the season starting this Friday, and they're just really passionate about it, and you can see it in their play. Few shots fall their way, and they're winners. And they're always going to be winners for all of us parents and coaches, and we just wish the best for them the rest of the season.
Okay, great job. Okay, let me go over here real quick. What's your name?
Paige Davis.
Any shout outs you want to give to?
I want to give a shout out to my brother Foster. He plays hard every game he goes out there, and all the other boys as well. But I'm a loud and proud basketball sister. So.
Is Foster the one with his head buried now?
Maddie Clay. My brother is Cutter Clay, and he didn't give me a shout out. So shout out to my mom.
Yeah.
My family. I don't have a boyfriend.
Here we go. Okay, how about I say 3 and everybody, let's go. Indians.
Tribe.
1, 2, 3. Okay, great, Mike. I'll send it back to you.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap things up here. We want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank Coach Williams. Thanks for him to sending out the text message to get everybody here. Love having the crowd. I sent it out to Nathan Maynard of Ritchie's, and he loves it. So we appreciate you guys coming out, and we hope everybody enjoyed the show. Love having the players talk. We really appreciate the coaches. So with that being said, make sure you guys follow the Western Indians this season. I know I'm going to have a few games. I know T-Fred's going to cover a few games of theirs, and hopefully next year we can get more of that going. So for T-Fred, who's over there eating free pizza, this is Rockin' Raj. I'm the Madman.
And good night, everyone.
Good night.